We are on. Hey, how are you? How are you? Welcome, welcome as we are continuing our series on love that lasts, looking specifically through the lens of 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7. And so we decided we're going to, as we can check the other videos, we've been going through this series and we are up to
Love is kind.
Love is kind. As Paul goes on, he says about love is kind. And I think I know what that means when it's talking about, especially when it relates to marriage. Kindness is, well, you should just be happy. I'm here. I could be out there. I'm home. I'm not out there running the street.
I don't think that's.
I go to work every day.
I don't think that's what he meant.
I'm here.
So if we keep love within the frame of there are some things internally we feel and some things externally we see. When you think about kindness, I don't think he's talking about what you're saying.
Well, you can see the fact. I'm here. I'm present. The mere fact that I'm home and here or not, that's kind.
So I think about kindness being, in the high school that I was working in, we had this whole, movement or drive.
Right.
It was called Random Acts of Kindness. And the goal was we wanted people to go outside of what you would normally do and go the extra mile to either say or do something for someone that you wouldn't normally do. And so it was really cool. And you could write it and then post it on a wall. And we had a wall of random acts of kindness. And then you would, write it or say it or do it and then write it up and put it up on the wall. And so the whole idea was to get people thinking of good.
Thinking of good that they can
share with someone else or brighten
somebody else's day.
Yeah.
I like that. The random acts of kindness.
It's called random acts of kindness.
Yeah, I know that when you looking at the Bible, when Paul says kindness, I think kindness is one of those ideas that kind of gets, in English, the way we use it, we just think somebody's just not being mean.
Right.
Which is, I think, part of the meaning. Like being kind is you speak gently, excuse me, thank you, you smile, and that is part of it. But the context and the use of the word kindness is more about doing something that serves and meets a need.
Yeah.
When you look at the parable of the Samaritan, he was kind.
Right.
He saw somebody who was beaten and wounded and nobody was helping him.
Right.
He triaged him. He set in. He dealt with his wounds. He took him to a place to an inn.
Right.
He inconvenienced himself because the guy was not, needed some literal help.
Right.
And so kindness is definitely being polite, but on an emotional level, kindness is practically looking at, in this case, what will benefit my wife, my husband, what will brighten their day. That's why I like the random acts of kindness. It's not just being not mean,
Right. It's making life a little brighter.
I like that. Making life a little brighter.
You don't have to. And if you don't do it, you'll be okay. But if you do the random act of kindness, it'll brighten the person's day.
Yep.
So
I think listening to you, what came into my head is I feel like kindness is on a spectrum of making somebody's day a little brighter, all the way to supporting your husband or your wife in their life and in their dreams. You showed me amazing kindness as I went back to school, and you really held everything down financially because I had to take time off of work. That was kindness to support my dream, but it was big, it was major. So I think all of it is kindness. All of it is meeting a need to support your spouse, your family.
Yeah, I thought about today. I was when we were in the car and we were leaving. You were in the car, and I was like, "Oh, let me go back inside and get something." And then I got the blankets, and I wanted to pick up this, and then I thought about something else. And I remember when I got in the car, you were chill. You were totally chill. And I said to you,
Because I just screamed,
you were totally chill. And I said to you, I said, Antoine, I appreciate your patience, but it was more of a kindness that you sat there and you were like, I'm gonna let her do whatever she needs to do to feel good about leaving, and you just didn't go off. You weren't impatient. You didn't make a comment or a snide remark. You were good.
I was good. But look, it was hard-won lessons. This is the one thing. It was the one thing I want to be able to share with you. Antoine Lee is not naturally a kind person. Meaning this: most of us don't see ourselves as mean. I get that. I don't see myself as mean or cruel, but most of us will tend to look at our selfishness. Meaning, we think a lot about us. We think about our needs, what's convenient for us, what benefits us, what we got to do, what we're worried about. I worry a lot, right? And when you're so self-focused, you're not so much being mean to your spouse, but you're being thoughtless.
Right.
You're not thinking about them. You're not considering them. You're thinking about, man, I got to deal to make sure I'm not anxious, or I've got to make sure to deal with this is done right, because nobody, so it's all about us. And when you think like that, yeah, you're not purposely being cruel, but there's no room to be kind. There's no room to put yourself in your spouse's shoes today.
And be thoughtful.
And be thoughtful and think about what they would need, even before they ask. Of course, when they ask, but even before they ask. I want to give you that encouragement, that challenge, a practical for kindness. Again, this is assuming you're not being cruel and mean.
Right.
But are you thinking about your spouse's needs today? To every single day, have a moment where you can stop, think about something your spouse is going through, or something that would brighten the day of your spouse, or something that they would need because they have something that they're trying to do. What could you do today that would be kind, that would benefit them? May have nothing to do with you, like at all. You could chill, put your feet up and watch TV that night. But think about what would benefit your husband or your wife, and do it not so much to get tit for tat, I'm gonna get something back from it, even though you will, but not to get something back from it.
Just because.
But just because. Again, doing things just because I'm thinking of you, I want to serve you. This would probably be something that would be supportive. It may be inconvenient for me. It may be awkward for me. It may interrupt what I'm watching on TV. Try it. That is kindness. Keep it daily. The small kindnesses make a big difference. This has been great.